Welcome to the Scale Model Podcast. In this podcast, we aim to entertain, inform, and promote the hobby of scale model kit building with interviews, reviews, and news about the hobby. The podcast is available bi-weekly where your favorite podcasts are found, including iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher. You can also get it from our website at scalemodelpodcast.com, where you can find show notes, photo gallery, and so much more. You can also subscribe to get notifications on all our updates, new episodes, and video content. Please support the Scale Model Podcast on Patreon. Patreon supporters enjoy early access to content and exclusive contests. Your Patreon support helps us to offset hosting and other costs to bring the podcast to you. Welcome to episode 148 of the Scale Model Podcast, sponsored by Cult TV Man and Sean's Custom Model Tools. We are back. My name is Stuart Clark, and as I said before, we are back, baby.
Baby.
Also,
it's been a while.
It's been a while. I want to appreciate everyone's patience. But first of all, let's get going with our introductions. First of all, from the north shore of Lake Erie, where the winds blow cold and fierce, in his lake house, all snuggled away in his build room, Mr. Jeff Highland. How are you, sir?
I am great. We just got down here about an hour ago, started up the fire, made sure the Christmas tree had lots of water, and now we're settling in for a Christmas Special podcast. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, going to be good fun.
We're joining from our benches and just we're going to build, and you're going to watch us build, I guess.
Yeah.
How exciting is that?
I know. And that other voice, of course, you hear is from West Chicagoland, where it was equally as cold, but about 12 hours ahead, Mr. Terry Measley.
Hey, Stu. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, gentlemen.
Good evening, gentlemen.
It's been a while. So, yeah. So, obviously, as I previously posted, my wife's been in the hospital. She's still in there, but she's waiting for a room outside of ICU. So, it's very slow road to recovery, but we are getting there. And she gave me permission to do this podcast. So so she's certainly conscious enough to do that now. And she's full of sass, piss and vinegar, all that good stuff. So she's doing well. Jeff, how about you? What's been going on? I hear it's been really quiet in your life.
Yeah, it's been very quiet. I have really basically been doing nothing but sleeping and relaxing. And yes, no, as you know, we bought a house closer to our kids in London, Ontario, in September. And then promptly, was already pre-planned, we went off for a trip to Ireland and Scotland with my brother and sister-in-law for a couple of weeks. And then we caught COVID coming back. And so basically, we got this new house, or it's not a new house. It was built in 1953. It needs a lot of work. And we came back. We had to wait like a month before we could start tearing into it. We have since torn into it, destroyed the basement, destroyed pulled out 3 walls, put in lam beams to support them, opened up everything. And most parts of my body are broken. As I said when I first came on to chat with you today, I'm broken in body and spirit, but I'm continuing to push forward. And I'm mostly pissed because I haven't been able to do any modeling for the last 2 months. So,
oh, terrible. I
know it's a horrible first world problem, but
so over the holidays, you must do some modeling.
I hope so. I plan to. We've been kicked out of the house because all the hardwood floors are being refinished, and it takes a couple of weeks for that stuff to properly harden up. So that's why we'll be down here and enjoying the lake, which will be quite pleasant for a change.
Yeah, that's a good time for a break.
I think
two weeks. That's the good time to spend 2 weeks not in that house.
Exactly.
I assume the lake hasn't started to freeze over yet.
No, it's not. I was looking out today. We've got some major winds coming from the southeast, and there's a lot of rollers coming in. We call them California rollers because they look like you could surf on them if you were
well, there you go.
You just jump in the lake.
You just got to get your insulated wetsuit and your surfboard.
Dry suit.
Dry suit.
Yeah. No wetsuit. No
wetsuit today.
None for me.
Not
it's beautiful here. So we're really enjoying it. Looking forward to a quiet evening, and then we'll head back tomorrow because we have to be there Monday or first thing in the morning for the team to show up and make sure everything's okay.
There we go. All right, Terry, how about you?
Oh, so late October, got bronchitis, then sinusitis, and the bronchitis cleared up with that round of antibiotics, but the sinusitis has been a real bitch to get rid of.
Yeah.
This final broad spectrum stuff seems to have been pretty good at clearing that up. So I'm still kind of clearing a little bit of phlegm and stuff like, you know. But no, I wouldn't have been on the show for a couple episodes anyway.
See, it all worked out in the end. There was
Yeah,
obviously
that was
a
rough.
message there.
I mean, I think I spread it to everybody at the Iron Maiden show on October 24th. Like everybody around in that whole area got bronchitis because of me.
Oh dear.
Sorry, guys.
Something to be proud of. There you
The
go.
gift
Yeah.
that keeps on giving. Exactly. Well, lots of stuff happening, but let's we're gonna basically our format is a nice casual thing. We have an absolute plethora of guests, right? Is that the correct word I can use here? Just
Plethora.
Plethora.
But
plethora,
really close. It's almost like
Yamato,
Yamamoto.
Yamoto,
An
yeah.
abundance, an embarrassment.
An
Yes.
embarrassment of guests who are going to be joining us in 15-minute slots. A lot of familiar names and faces. As I point out, if you're listening to this on the podcast, there is going to be a YouTube video stream of this where you can see all our ugly mugs and people's benches and rooms and stuff like that. So definitely check that out at scalemodelpodcast.com. All right. So one of the things we're going to be asking our guests is what's on their bench, but I thought we'd get through ours first. I'll start. So I haven't been doing much since my wife's been in the hospital. Didn't have much mojo, but I did get some smaller palette cleanser kits done, like Bandai's Death Star 2 and the Razor Quest. I did do some video reviews on my YouTube channel, blackfire.ca. I have a Mung Spice Harvester from Dune that I have to paint up
Nice.
and weathered. And I've also started and literally just started a Land Rover 124th Series 3, the long wheelbase station wagon. I got that at Heritage Con last year. I also was also involved in the turkey shoot from our friends at the Modeling Insanity podcast, and I built a Airfix Mark One tank in 176 scale. So getting a little bit here and there, some minis done, but not a lot. It's been tough to keep the mojo. It's been very busy. It feels like Groundhog Day every day for me during the week. I work at home from 8 to 4, and then up to the hospital, and then back down, feed the cats, and then do some chores and get ready for the next day. So
So is the Mark One a male or a female?
that
And
was the male.
how can you tell?
Well, the male has the big guns.
Oh, I thought you had to look underneath them and see
No,
what the
no, doesn't. No, you can tell without looking underneath them. Okay, Jeff, other than not doing much, you also had some kits you had built up.
Yeah, well, I did, but actually, I have been working. Well, I can't call it working. Frank Donati, head of IPMS Canada, had some back and forth with IBG models, and as a result of that, they sent him a few kits to be built up and reviewed.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't like airplanes. Frank is a
What's with that?
low life armor guy, and
I know. We don't hold him against him too much.
So he gave one to me to build and do a review on, and one to George Ray from our club, who's an excellent 1/72nd scale model
Yes,
builder.
he is.
And he's finished his, of course, irritatingly. And I have just started. And anyway, it's this one. It's the IAR 80 early, and this is just a gorgeous kit for those of you who are interested in this level of. I think it's Ukrainian, isn't it, or whatever?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Anyway, just a gorgeous kit, beautiful moldings, and I've literally, this is how far I've got. I'll show you. This.
Oh
Uh-oh.
no!
And now I have to rebuild them. Yeah, this is the bits of the cockpit, and that's as far as I've got. So, not very great so far. However,
Well, I'm sure you'll do a good job. If anyone wants to see George's, if they go to ipmslondon.ca and look in our last build gallery from our last meeting, I think it was last meeting or 2 meetings ago.
last meeting.
Yeah, he brought it in, and you can see a fine-looking picture there. And I believe it's also our banner page right now on our Facebook group for IPMS
It is.
London.
He always does a great job. He's irritatingly good, but
In 1/72nd, amazing.
in 1/72nd scale, they're little jewels. He's just a great builder. So.
Yeah. Now, how did the F-16? How was that received?
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah, as we were talking about earlier, I built an F-16 Falcon from the Tamiya 148 kit for a retiring U.S. Air Force pilot from the Arizona Air National Guard group, and he was retiring at the end of October. We managed to get the model finished and built and down to Arizona in time for it to be presented for his final flight. And apparently he was. I've seen all the videos and the pictures. He was overjoyed. It was like a real
Excellent.
treat. And so that was I was very proud of that. And of course the nose pitot tube broke off. I knew it was going to do that.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, but it's easy enough to fix. So next time
Yeah.
they're back up in Canada, which hopefully won't be too long, I'll try and fix it for them.
Okay, and then you also had the C-47.
Yes, the C-47. That was a build. This summer I was building for other people. I was building for the F-16 pilot and also for my brother who wanted a plane to hang from the ceiling of his Muskoka room in his cottage on Lake Muskoka, or up on 6 Mile Lake, which is west of the Muskoka Lakes. And the biggest one I had was a 148 scale DC-3/C-47. And so I painted it up in fictitious fire crew markings, named after, with the pilot's name being my brother's nickname when he was a kid, Rocco Flamefart. That was because he had a tendency to light his farts on fire.
As one does when they're young.
As one does. Now he hasn't really stopped. He does that still to entertain my grandkids, but so they understand it. And I got a member of our local club to make up some special decals for the plane to label it as Nana and Pop's Rescue Service. He's finally become a grandfather, and he's very proud of that. And then also I drew up a little logo of a naked bum farting flames, and that's the meatball on the various on the wings and the fuselage.
Awesome.
So it's become quite popular up at the cottage. So
Right, and you're still plugging through the latest X Modeler stash and library.
I am. That was the gentleman who I got connected up with a family who was trying to figure out what to do with this gentleman's stash, both of books and of models. He had dementia and had been institutionalized, which is quite tragic. He's a very good modeler. So I went over and looked at everything and basically took everything and told them I'd sell what I could and donate what I can't and keep what I want.
Yeah, well, and I know it's been going well because I know you came into the last club meeting, with quite a large
Yes.
number of items that had been bought by our members. So that's awesome.
I managed to raise about $1,000.
That's amazing.
I
That's
passed on
awesome.
to the family, and I donated about 50 kits to the Air Cadets.
Good.
And
Good.
I'm looking to. There's still a few more to sell and quite a few books to work through.
Yeah.
One member of our club came and a Saturday afternoon to our place and dropped $270 on
Wow.
books. Yeah.
Well, I knew who that was, and I'm not surprised. So that's good.
Well,
That's awesome.
when I told him it's basically $5 each, no matter what.
Yeah.
Because
He likes a bargain.
The goal of the family was to get this stuff to people who appreciate it.
Yeah.
They didn't really care about the money.
Yeah.
And it's just great. The stuff is absolutely immaculate. So
Cool.
It's been fun.
Good stuff. Terry, what have you been up to?
I've got the Christmas bird.
In between passing plague everywhere.
Yeah.
Plague dog.
I got the I got the Christmas birds done. They'll be packed up tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's
wrap them
good.
up and send them off, so they'll be out in time. Because I'll be visiting my parents next weekend, so that was pretty much a deadline.
Hard deadline, yeah, big time.
Beyond that, the Destroid. There's a leg.
Yay!
Moving along in decals. Those legs, decals on the legs over all that big piece of detail there is a pain. But the decals on these wave kits are like Bandai decals. They respond really well. Just do water first, get them placed pretty quickly, and they'll stick really well. I'm pretty happy with them. They're not as fragile as some I've seen, but I've learned from the Bandai stuff how fragile those are. So did that, and I also started the Wingsy Claude. So it's not a big plane. It's very small.
That almost looks like a Spitfire wing look.
Yeah, it does,
I mean, those Mitsubishi did the same thing. That was sort of the elliptical wing.
Neat.
Yeah. I put it up next to when I was playing around with the XP82, and the because I did finally get a hold of a P47M kit which you need to do some work to get the wings to make correctly. The size difference is ludicrous. I mean, the P-47 versus this thing is crazy. But beautiful kits like you'd expect. You get nice little engine detail. That everything's very good. I don't think you need anything. Maybe seat belts. Actually, a whole seat would be good. So I have yet to decide whether I'm going to replace the seat or not, or maybe just try to drill out the lightning holes in it. A little bit disappointed in the seat, but beyond that, just other stuff. The Mooseru Cup, I'm painting. It's in the airbrush booth. The big thing on that's going to be the diorama, right? The shadow box I got to build. So I've got some foam board and stuff that I can mock it up now. I'll be able to mock it up and see what size it needs to be.
Excellent.
And all that kind of stuff. Because I don't want to do a plain rectangular. It's going to be a little bit more interesting if I can manage it.
Yeah. I'm sure you can, but between the quality of the build and the bribe to the judge.
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry. I've got some friends like Neil that be able to help with some of the acrylic work because he can actually cut it. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing this because I know your concept and it's going to look wild.
Yeah.
Look absolutely
So
awesome.
I've been painting some vibrant colors and they will be the bases. That's the thing I did with this Destroid is I did the purple basing on it.
Wow.
A lavender and a dark purple. And I tell you, it gives tremendous depth. So much better than just black. So I've got sequence pictures. I'll make sure that I don't know if I did them on the site or not. On the Facebook page. I think I may have on the Facebook page. I'm not sure. Okay. Yeah, it looks fascinating. Two-tone purple, and then you're just a coat of this almost khaki-ish brown over it, and it just gives a tremendous depth. I did countertone with a bright kind of a puce green, so we'll see how that works. Yes.
Puce. I love that word. Puce.
Puce. Puce.
It is an ugly color. I really want to do something in that ugly color.
Yeah, it screams 1970. So there you go.
Oh, it's not as nice as the Chrysler green, that Roadrunner green.
But, yeah, I remember that. Look at that. My lovely wife just served me some tea. Isn't that sweet?
And what is it? Bring me some coffee.
And what does it say? He's just...
It says he's just having a wee look. I'm sure he's just as scared as I am. During COVID, a Scottish comedian came up with this. This is the Scottish comedian. He came up with this sort of character. I'll see if I can find the name of it so people can Google it because it's hilarious. And it's a guy who's basically confined to his house, looking like a Dickensian, nightshirt type of character, the comedian looks normal, and then this guy, which is the same comedian, shows up constantly staring at him through windows and around doors, and he rolls over in bed, and the guy's in bed with him, and it's hilarious. It's so funny. It was just very much a COVID comedy thing. So
I love it. Very good. So she had to get you the coffee cup.
Yeah, well, she didn't. My daughter got me this because my daughter and her Scottish husband introduced us to this character.
Oh, okay. Your daughter always gets you interesting presents. Your daughter.
Oh, they're very strange. They're very strange children. Yes.
I don't know where they get that from.
Where did that come from?
Maybe their mother.
No idea. Must
be their mother.
Just having a wee look.
Just having a wee look.
Yeah,
exactly.
Google that. It's hilarious.
I'll have to write it down.
Well, we're waiting for our first guest to make his way through the door. But while we're waiting, some interesting news. There's still a lot of releases in that. I'm not going to be able to get through them all. But one thing that did catch some people's eyes was TACOM a couple of weeks ago. They posted a logo that had TACOM wings. And that led to a lot of people thinking, what could this mean? And some of the theories were rather interesting. One of the popular ones was they'd gotten the Wingnut Wings licenses.
That would have been cool.
That was one that was going around.
No, has anyone?
No.
Beyond the
Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson has a tight hold on them.
Yeah.
What they did announce though was they announced their range launched with two Horton 229s, the 229A and the 229B. This is known as the Gotha also.
Yeah.
So basically, they've released these two monsters, because they're big. They're twin engine fighters. And, in 30-second scale, you're looking at a fairly sizable kit. Um, so they basically are having the single seat, which is the A, the 229A, and the twin seat of the 229B. They've also released a 1/16th scale pilot to match the two kits. So you do get a pilot or pilots, depending which kit you get, in their spacesuit. But you also get, like I say, there's an option for a 16th scale resin kit. So these are available separately, or you can buy, of course, Takom. They've released the big box, which of course is both aircraft plus the resin pilot. I haven't looked yet how much the price is for pre-order, but these are going to be fairly popular because there's already one 30-second kits out, and I'm trying to remember who makes it.
Wasn't it Zukimura?
Yeah,
Zukimura. Thank you.
SKW. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it was certainly up there, but I believe these are coming out at a very attractive price point.
Well, the Zukimura ones are dirt. I mean, they're not cheap. Those are expensive kits.
No, they're not cheap. But again, they're going to be, you're getting what you pay for. But these look like they're fairly good, so it'll be interesting to see.
Well, the Takom kits that I've built, I've been really impressed with. I like them. I'd recommend them, but you'd obviously have to check it out and see. But so far, they've done pretty well.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
And then what else? I'm just looking through from our good friends at the Modeling News. Das Works got a 1/16th scale half track, another half track coming out. That's the new scale, seems like. So the SD KFZ 250/1, the Osfe. So half track with a machine gun in the big 1/16th scale. That's coming out. Anything else that anyone's caught their eye just while I'm looking through here? I know you haven't looked.
Yeah, the only thing that's caught my eye has usually been sawdust and drywall plaster.
No, I haven't seen much.
Right.
Now you were bad today, Stuart, as I recall.
I
you
was.
went to the local hobby store.
I went down to our good friends at Brofdale Hobbies, where they also had an estate sale. And I noticed this in their picture from Friday or Thursday. So I picked up a nut rocker from Machine and Krieger. This is the 1/72nd scale one, for a really good price. Apparently there's two editions of this. I wish Mr. Goodman could have joined us today. He'd probably be able to go into it. One of them had photo etch, and that's the really rare one, rare as hen's teeth. This one doesn't. But again, it's still a sizable kit. That's what the that's what fuselage looks like, and you get a bag of parts,
I mean, and you love photo etch too. I mean, that's your favorite thing, right?
What would I do without photo etch? So you get instructions, a painting guide, a couple of clear parts. Oh, I stand corrected, Jeff. There's one piece of photo etch, I think.
Okay.
Hang on. Let's have a look. Yeah, it looks like the window. One piece of
one piece of photo etch.
One piece of photo etch there. So I think I can. It looks like that's the radar. Like a radar thing. So that looks like it's going to be fun. You can make for a what if or whatever you want there. That'll be fun to paint.
It's already a what if.
It's already I know, but I can make it even more of a what if.
Yeah, true.
And then this one I've been looking for a while. I've been on my if I see it for a good deal list. The 148th Westland.
Oh yeah.
148th, not 138th, 148th Westland Whirlwind.
That's a nice plane.
Yep, very nice looking aircraft. This is from Trumpeter. They have a 132nd there in the store as well, but just a little bit too big for my taste, and I got that for a very good deal as well. So, yeah, I've been selling some stuff off the stash. As we all do, our tastes change.
Yeah.
So I've been selling. I've got 4 or 5 to bring to the next show to sell. It's interesting how one's tastes change and different things come out. I've just realized that I've got so many kits in the stash. I am never going to build them all.
No. And a lot of them are old, the older stuff, and then newer ones supersede it or whatever. Plus, what you bought 30 years ago is not necessarily what you want to make now.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
That's
or something from 30 years ago you really want to make now. It really varies.
Right.
And I think this is what's, and we've talked about this, and we're probably going to do another show on this, where we talk about, estates and planning and stuff like that.
Okay.
So like I said, like you look what Jeff's having to do, and we've had to do it for several members of our club.
Hmm.
It's nice when they've made their wishes known. So
Mhm.
it makes it a little bit easier, but it's still there is a lot of stuff. And you look at how many new kits are released every year and old ones in stashes, and we're reaching a point where, you hate to be morbid, but the baby boomers, the ones that were the prime people that were building these kits and collecting them, they're getting on in years.
Yeah.
And by they,
And
you mean us.
us.
Us,
Yeah.
yes, yes, we're all getting on in years, and are we going to build them? And you still see these stash kit group of people with thousands, and I feel for the family.
Well, it was interesting just on that topic. I met and worked with the daughter, who was a wonderful woman, and but she was at her wit's end about how to, in a sense, like this was her father's passion,
Hmm.
and he was a private pilot as well, and he was heavily into aircraft and history, and specifically World War II, and she just didn't know what to do, and it was I didn't like I actually kind of felt guilty being getting all this stuff, but at the same
Hmm.
time, from her perspective, she thought it was like a gift from God that
Yeah.
somebody who was interested was there to help. So it's it's going to get harder and harder as we all age out because the
No,
next
and
generation
and
won't
it's
be
not.
as interested.
Yep. And it's not just model kits, it's model railroad. When I was at Profdale's today, there was a gentleman who I think he said his brother was in talking to Jason about, a small stash if Jason was interested. Jason actually just received two. He's
Mm,
got one stash already out, which is on his Facebook, and he's got another one. He's got like 100 kits to sort through.
wow.
And it's a similar thing, and it can be good in some ways because again, if it's something you wanted and you want to build, it's now available. Like I hardly expected to find, the only way I knew I'd find this whirlwind was either at a show,
Hmm.
or from a stash sale. So,
Yeah.
But we've said that numerous times that,
yep.
if you miss it the first time around, you'll find it on the show.
Yeah.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
Give it time, and this was actually really lucky. I went in for the nut rocker, because I did see that there, and I said to myself, I'm not going to call and reserve, but if it's there when I'm, then I know it was meant for. It
Yeah,
was meant.
exactly. The universe is lined up for you.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, I did that after visiting my wife in the hospital today, and no, I did not rush out. I spent a couple of hours with her before I went over there, and before we started the recording today. So yeah,
Hmm.
no, it was really really good, and I was really pleased to see both of them there. And there's quite a bunch of other ones. We had another member of the club was in there. He'd bought a couple. He bought a Sea Hurricane, and I'm trying to remember what else he bought yesterday.
Mm,
Like the Airfix Sea Hurricane. I built that kit. That's a very good kit.
mm.
Until Arma came out with theirs, that was probably one of the finest hurricane kits currently in 48 scale on the market. The Hurricane series from Airfix. They were
It's
really, really
interesting.
good.
I think maybe the last maybe the last time we did a podcast, I mentioned that one of our club members had been to the local Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum in Mount Hope, which is just outside of Hamilton,
Hmm.
the day before, and had seen a stash show up there that had a whole bunch of Wingnut Wings kits in it.
Yep.
And so I jumped up and drove there and bought six of them because they were a
Wow.
hundred. They were selling them for $100 each, and that's like unheard of for a Wingnut Wings kit.
Yep.
And I left a couple. I left two, and I found them on Facebook Marketplace yesterday. Those two, I'm sure they're the same. They're from that same group, and he's got them listed for double the price now, $200 for. It's interesting to see how these things move around, and
Yeah, but again, I'd love to know the percentage of kits built versus kits sitting in a stash somewhere.
oh, I think it's very low. I
Yeah.
think it's very
Yeah.
low. Yeah.
Yeah, we see the odd one at the show. Now, I also appreciate people are going to be very hesitant to transport it to a show. I
Hmm.
realize that, but
Yeah.
I wonder what the build percentage is of people because yeah, you're often seeing them for sale or
Hmm.
whatever. I'm also just looking here. I know I was going to mention that IBG models have been touting out hints about they've got a new World War II project.
Mm.
It was going to be an Axis, and now they've announced it. They announced it about 4 hours ago from when we're doing this recording on the 14th. It's a Gotha GO 244 transport plane, and they've done the 242 glider version. This was known as the Gothair Flying Wagon, and it reminds me of the Fairchild transport aircraft. Fairchild, oh, what is it called now?
Not the C-119.
Yeah, the one that looks like they've slapped the wings right on top. It's a box and they've slapped the wings on top.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what this one looks like. And so I'm going to share it on the Scale Model Podcast Facebook group. So people can see what that's about. Actually, I should be able to share my screen here too. So I will share my screen with this as well in a second. Let me just
Let's see if we turn off the podcast while you're doing this.
well, yeah, let's try. Yes, this video thing is an experimental thing, folks. So, all right, let's just put on share my screen. Where's my screen? There's my screen. Share and share and share. All
And
right.
there's Cher, and there is Cher in all
Do
her
you guys see
glory.
it?
Yep,
Mhm.
yep.
Yep. So medium transport, 242 and a 244. They made this in a glider version
Yeah.
as well. So
Oh.
I know nothing about it, but I'm
I
sure
have
there's
seen
people
this.
there.
I have seen
Yeah.
this vehicle before. It's
Full,
it's kind of fun. I mean, they're always interesting. You
full
can do a nice
interior.
crash diorama with them.
Yep. Full interior with loading gate, tail booms with standard rudder and optional push rod fairings. That was the A1 and A2. Looks like you can build a bunch of different versions here.
Mm.
The B1 had tail booms with standard rudder and push rod fairings removed, and the B2 tail booms with improved rudder, internal mass balancing, and big tabs. Final improved fixed undercarriage with outrigger main and bigger nose wheel. So those were the glider features, I guess.
Mm.
And there is the 244 B1 with the various ones with the engines, which we all prefer.
Hmm.
But it has side doors, so you could do paratroops and stuff like that. I'd never even known this aircraft existed.
No,
I'm so used to the Junkers. What was it? The Junkers.
the U-52.
Yeah, the JU-52. Thank you. You see pictures of those with the
Sure.
German parachute thing. So yeah,
Interesting.
so that's kind of cool.
I
All
hope
right, and
I hope our guests all realize. Oh, it is Eastern Time on the list. So
yep. In fact, we have. Let me just turn off my share. We've got someone just joining us now. Looks like
who could possibly be at the door?
Yeah, ding dong.
as
Ding
soon as
dong.
he's just got to unzoom himself or unzoom himself, unmute himself. No, you're still
No,
muted,
he's
my
still
friend.
muted. Still muted.
Nope, still muted.
And for those of you who are watching this, this is often the case with our podcast. This is how things
Right.
play out. Oh,
Oh,
he's
gonna
gone.
try. He's gonna try coming back. Who was that masked man?
Everybody's friend, Tony Woodson.
Tony. Well,
We're just waiting for him to come back.
he realized that there was no libations here, so then he
Well,
just left.
that'll do it. Yeah, you have to provide your own. We're cheap here. We're not like we're not like those whiskey sipping guys from Kentucky.
No, not like them.
And of course, I've mentioned them now, so they'll probably show up.
Your comment earlier about not being comfortable bringing very expensive builds to shows and things resonates with me right now because I'm trying to figure out how to bring my XD1 Discovery build to the local club meeting this Wednesday.
You got to rent a truck, a long truck.
Well,
So most people I've seen doing a lot of those, they're essentially building a custom box out of foam core
yeah,
and using pluck and fill or some cradle system. Like when I do aircraft, I've got foam that's been cut and I slide it onto the wings so it sits. Nothing touches the bottom. It's just the foam.
yeah, that's a good idea.
But you'll have to
I
build it out of foam core, I think.
Well, what I was going to do is use rubber bands to attach to them, like so that right now it's held in place on the stands, which are all glued down to a
Mhm.
board, which is painted black, and that's where all the wiring and for all the lighting circuits is hidden underneath that board. So, and then I've got the monolith on one side, and I've got HAL on the other side, and so it's a bit tall and potentially dangerously.
We can put it between a couple of pizza boxes.
That's a thought. Yeah, we have to talk about that too. We have to because this is pizza week.
You and the executive have to talk about that.
Yeah, well, you're on that executive.
Am
whether
I?
you like it
I
or
thought
not.
I was. Oh, I thought I was the unofficial tech guy.
Yeah, you are the official tech guy. So
Yeah.
between
Well,
you
so
and
I'm bringing the
executive.
official. I'm bringing the official tech.
Yeah, there you go.
So that frees me from the pizza. Hopefully, people are replying to you.
Oh, we got lots
Good.
of
Good.
response. I sent you may recall I sent the email out. It was basically, okay, tell me your choices, meat, vegetable, or something weird. And what I got back was mostly for a lot of the meats, they were very specific. I want bacon on it, and I want this, and I want that. And I'm saying,
You
screw
get what
you.
you got. You get
You're gonna
what you
get what
get.
we buy.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, very entertaining. But we have a pretty good response. Pretty good
Good.
response. So.
Good. Our Christmas meeting, ipmslondon.ca, our Christmas meeting.
Mhm.
Always good fun. And then next meeting is the 1 year built.
Yes, January.
Nice.
Yes.
January comes up, elections.
Yeah.
For any of us who are silly enough to run again.
I'll run again.
Our tech mages are going to do a hanger queen, a shelf queen build.
Oh yeah.
For 6 months. Yeah, just take a picture of what you got.
That's actually a good idea.
And just finish it.
Yeah, just finish it. Just finish it to a state in that at which you're not embarrassed about it.
No, I mean.
So
yeah.
I want. So I wonder if Tony's reaching out to tech support at home.
I must be. He's just
Tony is the tech support at home.
Oh dear, that's not good.
Yeah.
Well, all he was muted. So for some reason, his mic wasn't coming on. The joys of technology.
Yeah, I mean that's what we get for doing video.
But that's fine. This is the fun thing about a live show.
That's just fun about it. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. So while we're waiting, is there any particular? I'm asking you this right cold. So, any particular new product or technique or something you've picked up this year? You've learned. You've played around with.
Well, my big thing has been this complementary color shade basing. That's my big learning, and it's really worked out well for me.
Let's try this again. Can you guys hear me?
Hey,
there you go.
He's
Who let that man
live.
Your friend and mine,
Your
Tony
speaker is
Woodson.
not working. Please check the connection or use a different speaker.
Tony,
You gotta love modern technology.
Tony, we can hear you.
We can hear you, buddy.
We hear you.
How are you?
Do you hear? You're not hear us.
Let me see if I can figure this out without getting out.
Oh, he can't hear us.
Okay, this is kind of fun. I mean, he can't hear us, so we can say anything we want. Which we won't because we're nice.
Because Tony is a great guy.
Yeah, exactly.
How about now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We hear you.
You can hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't hear you.
Oh,
this is
no.
going to be
Headphones?
interesting how we're going to do this.
You got headphones or something you can put in, Tony? You can't hear me, so the suggestion is useless.
Well, I guess what I could do is try to do this blindly, like basically talk about what I've been building.
Yeah. Okay, that's a Gundam.
This is premium Bandai. This is one of 4 different versions that they've released, and it's specially colored. This is the 4th one. I've actually built the other 3 that I'll share the pictures with you guys in an email link. Terry was saying just to send it. Basically, I've been working on these guys since September, and I've completed 3 of them. And this is the 4th one. And the idea is just to work on these straight out of the box. A bunch of my modeling projects have become Shelf of Doom, which means I haven't really been touching them for whatever reason. So the idea was for me to try to jumpstart my modeling, getting back to completing something by just finishing these guys and just basically building them, building them out of the box stock. So I don't have to worry about any color variations or painting or whatever. And so far, it's actually worked pretty well. As I mentioned, I've completed 3 of them so far. This is the 4th one. There is a Netflix. I'm not sure if you all are familiar with it, but there's a Netflix Gundam series called Requiem of Vengeance. And during Black Friday sale, I picked up the RX-78, which is a Gundam, and the Zaku. And I actually finished I'm just finishing up the RX-78. It's a smaller version. These are master grades, which is 1/100 scale. The other ones are high grades, which are 1/144th scale, and they're much smaller, but they're still really articulated, beautifully molded. I love the engineering, and I actually just finished putting a wash and cleaning a wash off from the RX-78. For the Zaku, I'm actually trying to do a color change. One of the things, issues that I've had with the Zaku, with the Gundams in general, is they mold like some of the parts in gray, and they're supposed to be mimicking like the internal structure. And for me, like if it's a Gundam, it has to have some metallics in it. So what I'm doing is I'm actually converting the grays over to metallic, like a steel iron combination. I've been using a paste called True, it's AK Interactive. It's called True Metal, and I've actually been diluting it a little bit and basically painting it on with a brush. So the idea is like the inner joints, like some of the metallic areas should be representable a little bit better with metallic finish versus, the stock gray. So that's the plan, at least. Awesome. I guess what we could do, if you guys want to, if you want to like enter a message in the chat, I guess we could communicate that way, like old school.
Well, we can certainly we can certainly do that. Appreciate you putting on. Appreciate you putting on the grades.
Okay, you can hear me. Okay. Oh dear, do you have? No, I don't have any headphones on. Okay, and awesome. So I guess you guys are hearing me loud and clear.
Yeah, we hear you.
Do you have any questions for me? Like, I guess you guys can plug them into the chat if you have any.
Yeah, there we go. That's one.
That's a good question. I don't really think I've learned any new techniques just because I really haven't been building stuff. But what I've been doing is rediscovering old techniques that I was using beforehand. I mentioned the AK Interactive True Metal. The idea is it's like similar to the old Rub and Buff. If you guys are familiar with it, it's metallic. It's metallic color particles that are suspended in a paste. So the idea is you would. You don't want to know how large my shelf was. It's growing by exponentially. That's interesting. Traditionally, way back in the day when I was actually completing them, when I got through the tasks of cleaning up the seams and getting everything primed, usually when I got to the point in which I was ready to airbrush them, the project would take off, because that's the chance that you get to be. When you lose your mojo, what stage did you lose?
Yeah.
Probably about 3 or 4 years ago, I was working on a Star Fury, Babylon 5 Star Fury. No, they're not. And I started with
you gotta repeat
one,
the question.
and
so
then
how's that
expanded
Star
to
Fury?
3. And then I picked up John Lester's decal markings for them and his extra, accessories like the missiles and the more accurate guns. And
so Tony was working on a full squadron of Star Furies. That's what we're talking about here. A whole 12.
What happened
maybe even 2
was
spares.
my 3 became 5, which became a squadron of them, which were like 9 or 10. So that's where it's at. I'm really hoping, and Terry, you need to like kick my butt if the need exists, but I'm really hoping to have them finished by Wonderfest, the Star Fury squadron.
Okay, Terry. This has been fascinating. We type our questions, and Tony answers them and doesn't tell you what the question is. So it's
that's right. He's not a public speaker.
Any other questions, gentlemen?
I'm typing.
You are? Okay.
I'm furiously typing. There you go. So I'll buy Tony a rib dinner at Wonderfest if he finishes.
Deal. Do I have to finish all of them, or
Full
can I
rack.
maybe just finish like 5 of them, or like 3 of them?
How many does he have to finish, Terry?
Terry, answer it and type it back to him. Type it back to him.
Well, how many ribs in a full rack?
Yeah, exactly.
One rib per...
How about 1 rib per kit? 1 rib per build.
One rib
per build.
That's fair. That's fair.
I get a kid plate.
That is fair. Agreed.
Well,
All right,
Well-
that was good. I think we'll let him go because we have our next guest coming on.
Thanks for coming, Tony. Thanks for coming by.
I'll see you guys later. Take care. Thank you.
Take care, Tony. Merry Christmas.
And
Okay.
look at that. Just as
That
we
was
speak,
hilarious.
Oh my God! Who just came through the door?
who just came in? Who just came through the magic
Fresh
door?
from the frozen tundra, it's Bill Webb.
Oh my God!
How
Bill,
are you,
can
Bill?
you hear us?
Bill, can you hear us?
Can you?
Howdy.
Hey.
Howdy, Bill. Can you hear us?
Finally, yeah. It just took a while for my mic to connect.
Okay, our previous guest, we could hear him, but he couldn't hear us.
We had,
Tony
the,
had
yeah.
problems.
we had the
Yes.
interesting experience of having to type on the chat line our questions, and then he could answer them verbally. So, because we could hear him fine, but he couldn't hear anything we were saying.
That could be a good thing or a bad thing. It depends on the day, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the guests, for sure.
True.
So
Best
how
of the season to y'all.
best of the season to you? How are you doing, Bill?
Hanging in. You
That's
know,
good.
How
That's
many
good.
naked women have you painted this year?
0.
Oh my God! What's wrong with you?
I know. It's
What's
this year's
the
been a
best?
slump. I've completed 1 kit. I've binned 1 kit, and I'm 3/4 of the way through 1 kit. It's just been completely unproductive.
So go ahead and tell us what's on your bench right now.
Right now, it's a Trumpeter Lav 25 Piranha.
Oh, nice.
My very first armor kit in my life.
What
And we
color are you
blame-
going to paint it?
And
Pink?
we always blame Frank Donati for all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I sucked him into the muscle card, so I figured it was kind of fair play.
That's
Yes.
And he picked this one out for me at the Nationals when we went down. So, and it doesn't have tracks, so I'm happy.
Yeah, that's all good.
true.
I
What's-
enjoy armored cars. Yeah.
What scheme
Yeah,
are
so
you going for?
It's I honestly don't know because I know I'm probably going to do UN, so the white, the off-white.
Yeah.
Ah.
Should talk to Anthony. Anthony did a great job on that thing.
hmm
Yeah, he did.
Oh, did he?
He
Yeah.
did a very good
Yeah.
one. Yeah, he did something similar. I think he did a smaller scale one. I'm trying to remember now.
Well, he did the white, and it took him a long time to do it because he
Yeah.
he kind of got frozen for a while, but it turned out looking great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, the thing is, not having done armor before, I don't know the process of assembly and painting, so I've just assembled,
Why not?
and then
I
I'm
don't-
going to paint.
Yeah, I don't think you know what I'm not sure there's any one way of doing it because I know some guys build the whole thing and then paint.
A
And
lot
other-
of them do. Yeah.
Yeah, and others don't. Others, and I've always had trouble figuring out how that works, particularly if you're going to do an interior or anything like that. You got to paint something first. But
Oh, good Lord, no interior.
oh,
No, not for a first shot, man.
So, have you got anything planned yet for Wonderfest?
allow.
I got yeah. Yeah, I'm going to turn it into an anti-gravity lab, maybe. I don't know. It depends on how it turns out.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got a couple of things sort of on the back burner. Of course, I always want to do one of the, as you say, the naked ladies to take down for the adult version because they're just fun.
Yeah,
And it really challenges my painting skills.
Sure.
and you're really good at it too. Frankly, you do a
Yeah.
really nice job.
Compared
Must
to
be-
what else shows up down there, I am a rank amateur.
Yeah, but it must be
you
your
aspire.
native. Your familiarity with the subject obviously shows through. So
Good Lord, I hope so. But no, I find that painting flesh and that is so challenging. It
Mhm.
ups my game everywhere else. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I do. And let's face it, 110 years ago, I went to art school, so life drawing and all that sort of stuff is kind of sort of second nature anyway, or was back then.
Mhm.
So falling back into it's kind of easy.
Well, it's good for you then, because that's something not everybody can do.
Oh, it's a challenge,
skill,
and
Right,
believe
it's a
me,
skill like all others.
Yeah.
the first couple ones I tried were horrifically terrible.
Mhm.
And you improve as you figure things out. It's like everything else.
So
That
let me
sounds
ask.
all right.
So let me ask you, what tip would you give to someone who's never done figures or figure busts? What tip would you give a first time painter? or tips?
Ooh, 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 ooh.
I know I'm going to throw some hardball ones at you.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Okay.
Really, like a
That's good.
a simple, as you said, start off with a bust. Something simple. Something that doesn't have a lot of anatomy that you have to deal with. So that you're dealing with, chest, face, eyes, lips. That's where you're going to get tricked up, and that's where you need to practice.
Have you ever done that?
Don't
Have you ever
be
done that?
afraid to paint over it and start again.
Yeah, that's fair. Have you ever done that technique where you spray black from underneath and white from the top and
I
start
have
like
played
that?
with it. And actually, one of the ones I took down last year, I did the two of the
Where you had the character from Nightmare Before Christmas or the bride?
no from Big Hero 6 and whatever.
Ah,
So I did one that was adult and one that was PG, and I tried one doing the black and white and one just painting like I would normally paint, which is 3 steps forward, 5 steps backwards.
sounds right.
And personally, the black and white thing, I find the flesh tones look kind of dark and muddy.
Mhm.
Whereas I've been trying the technique of using a white base, and everything looks brighter and to me more lively. But everybody has their own things, and I can't say that one's better than the other because I look at what people do at Wonderfest, and some do it one way and some do it the other, and they're all just utterly unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, mind you, 3 years ago, I never would have thought I'd do a figure. So until I went to Wonderfest for the first time and saw what they were doing, and it blew me away. So
yeah, and advice-wise, don't be afraid to ask people how they did their stuff. People love to talk about their own.
Oh
work.
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And you're going to start somewhere. You're not going to start perfect.
No.
Oh yeah.
And that's actually probably the best piece of advice you could get. Don't expect perfection out of the gate. Expect failure out of the gate because you learn from failure. You don't learn from perfection.
Well, even the first couple ones I did, even though they, at this point in time, I think they were horrifically bad. At the time, I thought, that doesn't look so bad at all.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
and then I took it to Wonderfest and went, oh, no, that's not good.
That's not good. Not going to cut it. Well, you need to start doing something like one of our club member, Ron Tucker, does, like the disgusting 12-breasted monster from hell or something to that effect.
Well, and that's kind of why I like doing when I'm doing the figures, I'm doing sort of more of the anime figures and that sort of thing because they are make-believe per se.
Yeah.
And so being hyper-realistic isn't always necessary.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, I'm sure that if I live long enough, I will get to the hyper-realistic, but, and you look at most of the ones that, again, going to Wonderfest, talking to the ones that do the figures down there, a lot of them started off with the anime figures and then went into the realistic ones. Anne is one of the ones that does that sort of thing. She was big on anime to begin with. Met a gal from California, and I can't think of her name for the life of me at the moment, that was doing some really super nice anime stuff on the regular tables. And she was sort of next to me, and I got to chatting with her a little bit. And same thing, she's sort of on the new end of scale and trying this out, and it's kind of fun.
So one of the questions I'm asking everyone is there a particular product or technique you've learned this year that you've really, really glad you either bought or learned?
You only had 3 builds this year. For God's sake, give the man a break.
I know. If not, that's fine too.
I'm going to say that technique this year just really kind of been a wash because of other things going on in life. So I haven't been really experimenting a lot on trying new things. I've picked up some products that I've kind of liked.
Yeah.
Having gone to a couple of shows and having access to things that we don't get up here in Canada. So,
Anything in particular?
No, it's just little things, different types of styles and types of brushes. I did pick up a super fine airbrush, which I have yet to break out because I haven't been doing any figures. So, but that sort of things. Because I've got a couple of armored kits, I picked up some aftermarket armor stuff that looks really cool and fun to play with. That I could also transform into some sci-fi stuff, greeblies and such. That I go down that route. So I'm trying to keep options open when I play. You guys know me, so you know that I sort of bounce around from subject to subject. And I try and transfer skills and ideas from one genre to another just to make things interesting and to have something different on the table when I take things out.
Well, I'm just as bad. I went to Brockdale's today and got this.
Yeah, I saw you got the Nutcracker.
Yeah.
I saw the post.
Yep. So that'll be fun to play around with, do some armor work because I did for the Model Insanity turkey shoot. I did a World War I tank. I was telling them about. So, but no, right now I'm working on a Land Rover. So that's my current one.
Didn't your dad have a Land Rover?
Yeah,
at one point?
he had a Land Rover Series 290 wheelbase.
So you're going to do this as a tribute build, like paint
I'll do it as a
his
tribute.
was?
His was a 2-door. This one's a 4. I can't find. I'm having a heck of a time trying to find a 90-inch wheelbase Series 2. There's not many kits of them around. I know. Go figure.
Yeah, just pretend that this was your dad's vehicle.
Well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can get the matching color and stuff like that. I was going to ask you, Bill, any particular favorite paint lines you're working with for your figures?
I have been sort of using sort of the traditional AK model color stuff on the last ones. I am now playing with the golden artist paints.
Oh yeah.
They are super pigment packed. They're in acrylic. I can brush them, or I can airbrush them. So once I played with them a little more, I'll let you know how I think. But I know that a lot of the artists are using them, and
and Golden has a really nice line. Actually, you can get 2 different boxes of transparent paints as well.
Yeah,
and they're very, very useful.
I noticed, like Ron Tucker posted on our club Facebook page not too long ago, a link to a golden color matching program or something, an app that like if you basically target a color, it'll tell you which golden paints in which percentages to use to mix to get that exact match. I thought that's pretty useful.
Now you're talking about the transparency. I have used this on a couple things already. It's golden high flow acrylic, gray shading, transparent. So just where you want your shades, it lets the other colors come through without covering them up, but it gives you that shadow effect, which is super nice. There's something that I really found this year that I really liked. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm gonna try that.
I've been playing. Go ahead,
under
Jared.
skin tones and such, and Joe Nedgeberger will say this: is don't be afraid of purple because it's the complementary color for yellow, which tan and pink. So try your basing. And I didn't bring it with me, but that's what I'm doing on this brown mech. As I complementary color based with purples, and the color depth is fantastic.
Yeah, well, you guys know what I do for a living, so I have some understanding of anatomy. Sure. I also have some understanding on how to do colors and cosmetics and that sort of thing. And in college and high school, I did special effects, makeup, and that sort of stuff because I can't act worth a damn. But doing that stuff I could do, and there's a lot of girls in theater, so what can I say?
You know what? That actually explains a lot. So
I own up to my stuff,
Oh dear.
So is there anything else that you're excited looking forward towards other than Wonderfest, or any new products or releases coming out or anything like that? Have you had time to look?
I haven't really been following the releases that much, and quite frankly, again, dealing with stuff around here with the flood and moving my hobby room and that sort of stuff, I'm realizing I've got a lot of things here that I should probably be starting and not buying more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My God, that's a familiar refrain, isn't it?
Oh God, yes. And then of course, having the 3D printer and doing the figures, I've got a plethora of STL files that I want to print, but again, with things still being disrupted, I don't have the printer back online yet. So I've got a bunch of things in the back of my mind, and then hanging out with you guys is always dangerous because I come up with more ideas and things I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I am like the proverbial dog squirrel,
Squirrel.
and away we go. So I'm trying to keep my kit buying and or manufacturing to a minimum until I've got some of these things cleaned up and out of the way, or I decide that I'm just not going to build them and have passed them on to somebody that will.
Yeah.
I've got three super nice figure kits that I've bought at Wonderfest, the Filmy Girl ones that I need to start, but kind of scare me because they are so nice and not inexpensive.
Mhm.
But I have to remember that if I mess it up, paint over.
Paint over it. Yeah.
Yep.
Treat it as a base coat. There you go.
And that's what I just have to keep on reminding myself. And that's probably one of the hardest things I think for anybody that does that sort of thing is if you mess up, it's paint. You can
don't be
always paint
intimidated.
over it.
Yep.
That's probably
Yeah.
the one thing I did learn this year. Because I've often, if I mess up, I bin it or I put it on the shelf of doom and walk away. And this year I refused to do that, and I actually tried to plow through because I had to, because I was building these models for somebody else, not for myself. And that's actually an interesting exercise from the standpoint of this personal discipline. If you're building for somebody else, you have to finish it, so you have to find a way to make it work. And that was a good learning for me this year.
Yeah, I think that's probably why I have never taken on something for somebody else.
Yeah.
Because then you're on a deadline and you have to do things. B, if you mess it up,
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, if you do it,
and is it ever going to be up to the standard I want to give it to somebody?
well, that's the bigger issue. That's an excellent
Yeah.
point. But in my case, I was making them for people who aren't experts at whatever it is that they're not experts at modeling like we are, and they actually think it's amazing. So good for that, and it's good for my ego. Makes me feel good, makes them feel good. Worked out really well.
You got them fooled, in
Well,
other words.
Yeah.
Well, to put it in my terms, again, you guys know my son's in the Air Force, so I was going to do the CF-18. So I built, and it was my second kit coming back into the hobby, so probably bit off more than I could chew on that one. But I did build it, but I didn't send it to him when he came into town for Christmas that year. Showed it to him, and yeah, he proceeded to show me all the things that were wrong with it because he's around the aircraft all the time.
Yeah.
So I did one of the CF-18s, or did one of the egg planes as a CF-18, and it sits
There
on
you
his
go.
desk.
There you go. That's what you.
Perfect.
There
That
you
one
go.
sits
Perfect.
on the desk.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. That's a good
So-
way to sort of segue away from the rivet counter
Yeah.
syndrome.
Yeah, and I can't blame him because, as I said, was around the aircraft 24/7, so he knows them inside and out. So, yeah, you're going to see the things that are wrong.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
somebody comes to me and say, I want you to do a version of my Model A hot rod. Nah.
Yeah.
I'll do a version of a Model A hot rod, but not yours, because you know yours too well, and it will never look right.
Yep. Exactly. It's tricky, but it's
Oh
it's a
no, that's
worthwhile
because I'm a
endeavor.
chicken. I'm just a chicken.
Well,
I kind of get to the point where it's sort of like, oh, if you want to spend your time focusing on what's wrong with this, then that's your problem, not mine. Have a nice
exactly.
day.
I suppose.
You basically
But I do
build,
have
build
this
for your
fragile
enjoyment.
ego, so
Oh yeah. That's how I've always recognized you, Bill, Mr. Fragile Ego. Yes. Oh dear.
Oh dear. All right, Bill. Well, we've held you up long enough. We really appreciate you popping in and joining us.
Yep.
Oh man, it's been fun. It's
Nice
glad
to
to
see
see
you.
you guys.
Yep.
Yeah,
always-
well, hopefully we'll see you at Wonderfest this year.
Yep. That's the plan.
Plans are still to be going down there this year, but between now and then, who knows what happens. So
exactly. It's the way you look at it. And Jeff and I will see you on Wednesday at the club meeting.
That's right.
Indeed.
We have to figure
Pizza.
out how many pizzas.
Yeah.
I told
I'm
Artie.
presuming I'm ordering those again this year.
Well, thank you for
comfortable with that.
volunteering.
Yeah, I can. What I'll do is I'll do an email with the numbers to you and Frank and Stuart.
Yeah,
Get that
tell me the
sorted.
numbers and what you want me to get, and I'll get the orders in and
That's good.
and look after it.
Because I told
'Cause
Jeff
I
as
like
the
being
tech guy.
voluntold these things.
Yeah,
Yes.
as I told Jeff, I'm the tech guy, so I'm bringing the tech. I'm not bringing the pizza.
Yeah, I'll go and get the pop like I did last year.
There you
Perfect.
go. So-
Perfect. As long as I don't have to worry with that, I can do the other.
Yeah.
All right.
that'll-
Well, much obliged, Bill. Thanks for joining us. And
Oh,
this will be
pleasure.
out in about a week. Yeah, always good. We'll have to have you on again for a whole segment.
Get
And
back.
we'll really
Yeah,
grill you.
it'd be nice to do a segment on figure painting. That'd be fun. I'd appreciate that. In the meantime, get back to that lav.
Yeah. I hopefully will have it done by the end of this year.
There you go.
Well, there
Whether
you go.
it just ends up as a naked build or it actually gets painted, I haven't figured that out yet.
Hey, did you enter anything in the year build contest for the club?
Don't think so. I
I
don't
don't think so.
Yes, I did actually, and it's the one that ended up in the bin.
Should bring it as is. That'd be fun.
Oh no! It's literally gone. It went out onto the curb. I made way too many mistakes on it to recover it. So
Well, it happens. It happens.
Yeah,
In the end,
well-
it's stuff.
we all learn.
Yep.
Live and learn. All right. Thank you again for joining us, Bill.
Awesome. It's been great, guys.
All right.
Take
have
care,
a good
Bill.
day.
All
Merry
right, see you later,
Christmas.
Bill.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Now we're going to segue into our sponsors, namely Cult TV Man. And we're going to start that. I'm going to do a live ad. How about that?
Oh
yeah,
God.
let's do that.
Let's do
Consider
this.
it
We
Great.
actually have a time because I screwed up the schedule. There's no.
Yeah, you missed.
There's
I
no
just
one for this
realized
period.
you missed a 15-minute block there.
Yeah.
So, all
We
right.
could just have silence. That would be entertaining.
Yeah.
Silences. Well, we do that when we have our 5-second gap during
Some
the
people
podcast,
might-
so I reinsert
so-
things.
Some people may actually appreciate us being silent for.
That's
15
true.
minutes.
That's true.
Would you please? Would you please, Jeff?
Just please shut
Just.
up. Just shut up.
Well, lots of stuff happening. They've got their YouTube channel with lots of exciting updates for 2024. Now, we should point out we still, although apparently they're going to go back to work, we have a mail strike up here in Canada. So they're not going to be shipping here to Canada until the mail strike's over.
Yeah.
But so, sorry. But lots of extended updates. They're going to be going to the Chattanooga Model Con in January. That's January 10th and 11th, 2025. Always a good show, apparently. Have you been to that one, Terry?
No.
I wonder if our friend, I wonder if Mr. Ward's been there. How far is the drive from
It's not that
Cincinnati to
bad from
Chattanooga?
Cincinnati.
Yeah, so wouldn't be that. We'll have to ask him. So bunch of new stuff coming out from Disney, a new T-16 Skyhopper. That is what Luke Skywalker used to shoot womp rats on
Yes.
Tatooine. So it doesn't give a scale. I just want to see if it gives a scale here. It's on for $74.99. 16 inches tall. They were sold only at Galaxy's Edge. So this is a pre-painted model requiring minimal assembly and stands about 16 inches tall. So this thing's hard to get. because you normally would only be able to get it at Galaxy's Edge down at Disney. So that's kind of cool. You're saving 15 bucks there. What else do you have? Don Prudhomme Snake rear engine dragster and his Mongoose front engine dragster.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. I have a dragster kit I'm working on right now, and I'm making an absolute hash of it. It's an old Rebel one, and the main thing that's bugging me, there's only 4 attachment points between the front of the dragster and the rear, and it's just a nightmare to get properly glued and secured. I need like 6 sets of hands. But let's see here. The Don Prudhomme, the Snake rear engine dragster, 124 scale, the 3099. Tom McEwen's Mongoose front engine rail dragster, $27.99, and the same price for the Snake's front engine dragster, $24.99. USS Bainbridge Destroyer 1/600 scale from Atlantis, $19.99. Here's one from Atlantis. They did a series of, I think, 5 different knights. This is the Blue Knight. The Blue Knight of a Milan, 1/8 scale from Atlantis for $22.99. How about a kit of a lighthouse light kit from Voodoo FX for $39.99. Has a light in it and everything.
There you go.
Well, it's got the light. You had me at
You
light.
need a night light.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's just the lighting kit. Yeah, light set for a light kit. So kit sold separately. Also, they have, let me see what else they have here as I just closed the tab. Darn it. I closed the tab. Carry on amongst yourself for a second.
That's why you're not paid the big bucks for commercial work.
I know, that's why. Oh yeah, for your 2001 space station. You know how that kit came out.
I want that kit.
You want that kit? Well, then you're also going to want the lighting kit.
Oh yeah.
$89.99 light set. This is on back order, but you can add yourself to the back order list. That looks like a gorgeous kit. From our friends at
That's got to go to that's got to go with my 2001 collection, which is actually slowly getting built. So
well, this is good. What else do we have here? We have Herbie the Love Bug, the Volkswagen Beetle in 1/25th scale. Who doesn't like the old Herbie movie, right? Remember those? And we also that's a pre-order. We also have Revenge of the Creature, a new box, 1/8 scale, estimated between $55 and $65. We've got a new box for the Jurassic Park T-Rex diorama, 1/35th scale, so you can have a T-Rex chomping on a 1/35th scale tank.
That actually sounds intriguing.
Yep, between 65
that'll go
and
with
75.
That'll go with my pterodactyls and zeppelins.
There you go, exactly. Or you can get a Spinosaurus in 1/35th from Jurassic Park 3. That's on pre-order between 65 and 75. The latest Fantasy Figure International magazines, number 28 and 27. You can get an Evel Knievel 1/6 scale resin figure or a 1/5 scale bust. Oh, now here's one we all want. Kelly's Hero, set of 4 1/6 scale busts from Pestilence Labs, $159, including Oddball. They better have Oddball in here. I'll be very sad. You got to have Oddball. Classic.
I like the name Pestilence Labs. I think that's impressive.
Pestilence Labs. Yeah, looks like they do all sorts of things here. You get Kelly, Big Joe, Oddball, and the German Tank Commander. So that's good. That's a classic movie. I haven't seen that in years.
Yep. 70s haircuts and all.
70s haircuts, give them those negative waves. What else? We got the Mummies 2, all sorts of good stuff. I also know that our friends at Paragraphics, they just gave them a whole bunch of restocks from Paragraphics. If you're looking for your photo etch needs. What else here? We got restocks from round 2, including the Reliant and the Klingon Bird of Prey. So all sorts of stuff for Christmas and beyond. So make sure you check them out at Cult TV Man and CultTVManShop.com. And of course, tell them that the Scale Model Podcast sent you.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. And now we're going to do a pre-recorded ad from Sean's Custom Model Tools. Now we're going to talk a bit about Sean's Custom Model Tools, one of our other sponsors of the Scale Model Podcast. Some very cool things, both 3D printed and the Goodman Super Sanding Blocks. Let's start with the Microset and Microsol Decal Set Bottle Stand. This is purposely designed for the microscale set and sole. Most modelers over the years, they've tipped these bottles over. So this is a very handy thing. At $14.95, you can put them both together. They're printed in blue and red for easy identification. Comes with a black base, and they actually have little magnets on it, so it helps keeps them in place. Definitely a good deal. I use mine all the time, and I can well recommend them. Let's talk a bit about those Goodman Model Super Sanding Blocks, namely the Value Pack Combo. For $28.99, you get the 80 grit, 180 grit, 220, 320, 400, and 600. Just an amazing set, just what you need. And you can also, if you want, you can also get a super sanding block stand for it, which also really makes life a little bit easier, helps things keep it organized. The other thing too is they have the awesome model tape dispenser for your various tapes. It's basically a 3D printed thing. You put spools of your tapes. It's got a little razor blade to help cut it, and it's really, really good design. So yeah, works out really well, and yours for $19.95. So check out these and other amazing deals at Sean'sCustomModelTools.com, and also on Facebook, and tell them that the Scale Model Podcast sent you. There we go, and we're back. Looking forward to seeing Sean back in March. Can you believe Heritage Con is only a few months away?
Oh,
I know.
You don't have to tell me.
Mm.
Yeah,
well,
true.
you've got Musaroo. That's
right.
That's a lot of pressure.
He's got to be Musarooing. Exactly. So where were we? We were talking about techniques and new things we basically picked up. Jeff, how about you before you got busy with the house?
Well, this year, if we're talking about the 2024, this is the year that I got taken over by pterodactyls. Remember, because
that's right.
and that was early in the year, and that was the first kit I ever sort of threw myself into using the pencils, and I just accidentally triggered my chair and it lowered me. Look at this. This is so exciting.
Whoa, there we go.
Special effects.
Anyway,
Anyway,
behind the scenes, folks.
yeah, the AK Interactive, the AK pencil set that I picked up some time ago, finally started using them, and I really like them. They're quite forgiving, but they can be subtle as you want, and as unsubtle as you want, depending on how you apply them. So that was the big takeaway for me this year. That technique was great for my Zeppelin, and then just playing around with 3D printed pterodactyls was also a lot of fun. So it was a long time ago, but it's still 2024. That counts.
That counts. Terry?
Just mentioning the pre-shading stuff that I should have known years ago. But yeah, I will be using that more and more. I've already used it on 2 subjects, so doing more. And typically I would just do stuff like tritone post shading, but this is different.
I am going to have to try that because you said it was great. Anthony loves it, so it definitely sounds like something worth trying.
Oh, and look who just showed
Ding
up. We weren't even talking about him yet. We weren't even talking about it yet. It's Mr. Tom Grossman. How are you,
Santa
sir?
Claus. Santa Claus has joined us.
Ding dong. Avon calling.
There you go. I'm going to try and add some cheesy effects as people come in post editing. Tom, how are you, Mr. Grossman?
I'm doing quite well, sir. Thank you very much. How are you?
Not bad. Happy you could join our Christmas special.
I am tickled pink, and thank you so much for the invitation.
Exactly. So the first question we're going to ask you is, what's currently on your bench?
Well,
not much. Oh, I see a box.
And huge volumes of disorganization.
Yeah,
well, that's all right.
Well, that sounds normal. That sounds normal, though. I mean, that's nothing special.
Hi, Terry.
Hey, looks like everything's on your bench.
Well, there's a reason for that. I've closed Tag Team Hobbies.
Yes, we saw that. Very sad.
Yeah.
Yes. And so it's created a lot of chaos and distraction. So haven't had much time in there, and got a new computer. Hey, Windows 11 Outlook.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
AI is here to help you, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Skynet? Nah, no, thanks. None of that.
Oh dear.
Well, the other problem is when I was writing for Hobby Merchandiser over the last couple of years, I kept picking the hardest things to do. And I was true to my training at the modeling school of the hardest possible way. If there's a harder way to do it, we'll find it. So it kind of killed my mojo, and I haven't quite recovered from that. I'm still buying stuff, though.
Hate it when that happens.
So,
My God.
Aren't we all?
Although I did get that beast right there.
That looks neat.
Yeah, it's a Pace.
Wow.
36-inch spray booth.
Oh yeah. No,
direct vented.
Yeah. That's the one I got. That's the one I suggest everyone get. Pay the money, get the big one.
And you got like a rocket in the spray booth. What is that?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of from the 90s.
Yeah.
That's, from Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, that's the 42.
Oh, very good.
And
Very neat.
As far as I've ever gotten with it. It's FEMO over wire form. And over the decades, it's got some cracks in it. But thanks to my older son, the Pirate, I was able to watch all of the animated series and got a bunch of nice screen caps off of that. So someday
it will be finished.
That's always handy when one of your children's a pirate.
Yeah, well, he's got over 4,000 titles on there. Does anybody remember Quark?
Quark, yes.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Got to see it. How about all of Buck Rogers in the 25th century?
I haven't seen that yet because I think I just find it so corny from when I was a child.
Well, it does have some redeeming qualities.
All right.
Hey, ding dong.
Speaking of redeeming qualities,
we've got to put some guards at the front door here. My God!
I tell you, we
look who just wandered in.
We just let anyone in here. He must have heard us talking about him.
Let's see if Stuart remembers how to pronounce Paul's last name. Oh,
we can't. We can't
Paul's
hear you.
Got some audio issues.
We can't hear you, Paul.
Oh, nah. And this is the classic. Everybody everybody signs in has audio issues, and then you watch them struggle with the keyboard trying to find something.
Nope, still don't hear you.
Oh, I lucked out. First time in.
Yeah, Tom. No, Tom, you're a pro. Must be that Windows 11 that you got.
No, I think I just got
nothing yet. Nothing yet, Paul.
Still nothing.
Oh,
now we got you.
Now we
got you.
It seems Zoom seems to be taking about 30 seconds for the mic to kick in.
You just need to get to the point where you start cursing, and that's when it kicks in.
Yeah.
I thought that's what he was doing.
Oh, we lost you again.
Uh-oh.
No, we're kidding. We're kidding. All right. So Paul, how are you today?
Pretty good, except for trying to get in here to see you guys.
Well, that's all right. No, we were just talking how there was a pair of graphics restock at Cult TV Man.
There was a what?
A restock. A restock.
Yep.
He said he
in a big order.
A big order. I heard and saw, and I mentioned it during our sponsorship. A break from our sponsor. Yeah. So good to see you both gentlemen. I'm glad you're both doing well. So the first question I asked Tom was what's currently on his bench. So Paul, I'm going to ask you the same question.
Okay, well, let's see. Currently on my bench is a 1-to-1 scale zero gravity toilet instructions.
Oh no!
Lighted, backlit, the whole schmear that I'm designing from scratch and trying out a ton of new techniques, including like putting in the heat set threaded inserts, these brass inserts that the thing can be screwed together and not fall apart, and just all kinds of fun stuff like that.
And you said 1-to-1 scale?
Yep.
So are you going to take it up on the vomit rocket and test it?
Sure, works for me. It's just the sign.
Let's hope it does. Let's hope it works.
Does it work for you?
Nobody will be able to see this when you guys are. This is broadcast, but Here's the prototype. That's just the case. So
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Okay.
There you go. All right.
That's looking good.
yeah,
It's
and
getting there.
all hollowed out and the whole thing. It's only been, a year in the making because I'm anal retentive and stupid.
Well,
So
that's all right. And business has
Well-
been, and you've been keeping busy with new products and
yep. Yeah, the finally getting to the end of for the MPC Vulcan, the gun ports for it.
oh, excellent.
Yeah, and down including new windows, vacuum formed windows for that. And that should be good. I hope to be announcing that by the first of the year.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, let us know when you do, and we'll be happy to plug it.
Yeah.
So the next
That-
question I'm going to ask both of you, and one of you can decide who to go first. What new product or technique, or anything that really made you go wow this year, or you started using? And
Go
we
ahead.
have crickets. Tom,
Uh,
I know you've been busy, so if you haven't, that's
Yeah.
fine.
so I
Pass.
Paul.
Okay.
Well, I think Tom can actually honestly answer that the new technique and the new product that he's been using this year is Windows 11. That sounds like he's very, very fond of it by the sounds of it.
Yeah, but I'd rather be gluing parts together and painting again.
Well, you will soon. You will soon,
You will.
my friend.
You will. We have
Thank
Time
you.
will, time,
That's
time
the
will
plan.
free up. Time will free up.
That's the plan.
Paul, how about you, sir?
He's between the 3D printing and breaking in new printers at the office and new techniques in the design, and also those threaded inserts are cool, and I got to figure out something to use them on. Something else to use them on, I should say.
Something
Well,
else
that'll
to
be-
use them on.
That'll be good. Oh, and we have someone else about to join us too.
Well, there's nothing like a
Well,
zero gravity toilet for someone who's anal retentive, Paul. So that's good to know.
Ah,
That's
a good
what
way
do you
to
got?
put it. Yes.
And what do you have? What do you have, Tom? Tom's got something. He ran and got something.
I changed my mind. Can I change my answer?
Of course
yeah.
you can.
Does this one work better?
Okay, I picked up a couple of these.
Chisels.
That's
Ooh.
the chisel. Oh no, that's the spoon.
Oh,
Oh,
a round chisel.
Are Wave, and I got them from my pal Mike Rano at Rhino Hobby Tools and
Rhino
More
Hobbies.
Wonderfest. I'm standing at his booth looking at him, and Anya, the figure painter, she walks up and says, "Oh, those are really good for cleaning up hair on figures." And okay, sold. Yeah, the cap unscrews and sticks to the back, and then
Oh, that's
screws
okay. That
on to
makes sense.
protect it. So, when stuff gets knocked off the bench, it
Yeah.
got that
Every
nice-
time I'm at a show with my Rhino shop there, I drop like $300.
Oh
That's
dear.
a dangerous booth.
Yeah,
Oh dear.
all the Japanese tools and
Oh,
And we're also
Izu tape. Izu tape.
ISO
Mhm.
tape. There you go.
Yeah,
we're also-
like fractions of a millimeter width.
yeah.
Yeah, that's some good stuff.
Awesome. And I see Mr. Basquet from the Mojo has joined us, although I think he's in the dark.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's a little
yes.
early. He's being polite, I think.
He's
Is he
being
being
kind.
polite? Mike, are you being polite? Can't hear him yet. There's
Yeah,
been
he
Mike.
is. He's ignoring us. That's why.
He's
that's
ignoring
Oh,
us.
he's
Or-
got a new computer with Windows 11 too.
Or
There
there's
it
mic
is.
issues today where it's like 30 seconds for your mic to kick in.
Yeah.
That might
yeah.
be it as well. Everyone's had problems today. Almost everyone, other than you, Tom.
Yeah.
It took about 30 seconds for the mic to kick in.
It's a miracle.
It's
See?
a Christmas
See?
miracle.
See, the computer is going to be right for you after all. So Tom, with tag teams closing, and again, we saw that announcement. We were kind of sad. What kind of future plans are you looking at?
Well, it just became clear to me that despite my best efforts, I would have to spend so much more time, money, and energy into getting even close to be competitive with all the new players in the landscape here that that's not what I want to do with my time.
Mhm.
I want to sit there and go through piles of kits and all the ones I've started and there's boxes out in the garage. Yeah, you can see the window. We're not going to look at the garage. Yeah, there.
Okay.
With like 50 started kits that got moved here in October of 2018. So
Wow. Hey, Jeff, his shelf of shame's worse than yours.
I am feeling really good about myself. I want to talk to Tom a lot more.
I'll be happy to tell you about that if it helps.
Anything in particular you got your mind on to maybe be one of the first ones to work on?
Oh, well, does anybody remember the Romulan Wing Defender?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I've got one of those sitting there waiting.
I had a gaming mini
Hmm.
years ago and was really happy with how it painted up. And I missed it when it was available from Federation, but it turns out our pal Blappy had one and he was nice enough to part with it. So
Good
I
stuff.
got one and I actually got started on it. But I was using that New World's Mirror Steel, and the stuff I had must have gotten thermal shocked or something because it started getting stringy and globby about 2 minutes after I dumped it on the pallet. So
Mm.
that kind of derailed me. What else do I have going? Well, okay. I was digging around in some drawers and I came across these. Ouch.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't
clutter.
trip and kill yourself, for God's sakes.
Oh no, no falling. That I have no idea where I picked them up.
Oh wow.
Ah,
It's
Oh.
Laurel and Hardy
Yes, in
as
the desert.
the French Legionnaires.
Yes.
And I guess I started them back in 18 and they got stuck in the drawer. So I thought, okay, I'll learn how to do flesh tones again. I've been kind of playing with these, but there's a lot of bubbles that I didn't see before.
Oh no.
So someday
That'll keep you
it'll be
busy.
done.
That'll keep you busy.
just think of it as acne. Leave it at that.
Exactly. Okay, Paul, how about you? Anything else other than the zero G toilet you're looking forward to?
I am finally, I know people will find this as a shock, especially people from the old one-man space pod working group, but I have made it that 2025, I'm going to finish that damned model that I got in 2001.
There you go. All right. Well, we heard it here first, folks.
Okay, we're going to hold you to it. We're going to hold you to that.
Okey-doke. Yeah, I found some parts that broke, and it's like I started rebuilding those in 3D, and I'm like, finally the other day just said, nope, I'm throwing out all of my custom work anyway. I have the plans. It's easy to recreate them because it's all in CAD. So I can now just convert that to 3D and boom, I've got the interior.
Wow.
Well, exciting.
Sounds like that's going to be fun. Excellent.
It
All right,
will.
we're going to let you two go because your 15 minutes of fame are up.
Watching the
That's
clock.
so sad.
Again.
That's so sad.
Again, no, that's
Yep.
fine. We really appreciate. Well, Tom, we look forward to seeing whatever you've got planned. Going ahead. Like I said, we were sad to hear about tag team, but you got to do what you got to do, buddy.
Gotta
Yep.
do what I gotta do, and I will be at Wonderfest. With
Excellent.
some pals, can't call them a team anymore. Fanboys.
You can be
Fanboys
fanboys.
and
There you
girls.
go. That's
I
good.
understand there's a whole lot of a contest and a vendor room that I
It-
don't remember ever seeing recently.
I am
Bring a
shocked.
trailer. Bring a trailer.
That
All right,
sounds
Paul.
great.
Anything else you want to tell us about quickly from Paragraphics?
No, just everybody have a great holiday season. Happy Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. For those of our friends in the UK and all, Happy Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And
And like I say, the good news is that they're going to put them back to work for the Canadian mail strike.
oh, I hadn't seen that yet.
Yeah,
Oh,
they just announced it today. I don't have a date yet, but they are legislating them back to work. They're extending the contract until May.
It's
Ooh,
going to
on.
take it's going to take them a while to
Yeah,
to
play
get
catch
through the
up. So
backlog.
oh,
Wow.
okay,
Yep.
yeah. So I should probably wait. Falcon 3D, I'll keep going and I'll send his stuff to him on via UPS, as we figured.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep. So, because
yeah.
I noticed on your site you mentioned that, and
Yeah.
and on Steve's site is the same thing. So, I know it's been sucks. It sucks for us Canadian modelers this year for getting stuff from our friends in the U.S. or anywhere in the world, actually, if they go via the
Yeah.
couriers. Exactly. All right, gentlemen. Good to see you both.
Take care.
Have a happy
Thank you.
Christmas. Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Happy
All right.
holidays, guys.
Thanks for
Bye-bye.
stopping by.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks for the invitation.
Yep.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah,
All right.
great.
Now, Mr. Basquette. There he is. He's got to unmute his mic. There we
Can
go.
you hear me?
I
Oh,
can
there
hear
it
you.
is.
How are you,
Hey,
sir?
welcome.
I was not recognizing my USB mic I normally record with.
That's okay. That's all right. Oh, and then we have,
Okay.
and then we have the lesser half of the team.
Look who else came in.
No,
Yes.
that's
Look, it's Nora.
got traded
Nora.
Dave for that guy.
It's Nora Wallace.
He seems to be shocked at that.
Someone's been playing with this computer, I'm afraid.
Oh boy, Chris, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Not bad.
I'm
And
glad
we
to see
have
you. Yeah,
we have Mike, and we're hopefully going to have Dave in a few minutes. There was some Zoom problems earlier. People weren't able to get their mics activated for about 30 seconds.
And we're going to
Yeah,
blame
so
that
do a
on
call.
we're going to blame that on Zoom, are we? Is that what we're going to do?
Yeah, we're going to blame it on. Well, we can either blame it on Zoom or we can blame it on Kentucky Dave.
That's always possible.
That would be unfair.
That would be totally unfair because he's
Well, that would
probably
be in
trying to get his
keeping.
mic. He's probably trying to get his mic to work right now. There
Hang
he is.
on, I'm
Hey.
getting there.
There we go. He's
There he
there.
is. Yeah.
Did you just get up,
Gentlemen.
Dave?
Good to see you all.
Okay.
Great.
It's
Grateful
working
Dad.
now.
I like the Grateful Dad T-shirt. That's cool.
Grateful Dad.
Yeah, I like
That's
it.
right.
I like
love
it. That's good.
Life is Good has so many punny shirts. Great.
Yes, they do.
So the question.
I don't think the "I'll be grateful when they're dead" shirt is one of theirs though.
So the question I'm asking everyone is, even though I know the answer to it, even though I know what's on Mike's bench, but let's start with Mike. What's on your bench?
Japanese float plane.
It's coming along
love
nicely.
planes.
Been there a while.
Which one is it?
It's the E16 Paul
Fujimi kit.
old Fujimi kit. It's been an ongoing concern for a while now. So
Yep, I realize.
it's getting close.
That's awesome. No, I see you've been working away at it and all that. David, what about you? What's on your bench these days, my friend? Oh, look at that.
Japanese airplane.
Another
Look at that.
Japanese airplane
It's a plethora of Japanese aircraft.
in
That's right.
1/72nd scale.
A plethora, El Guapo. A plethora.
And which one's that one, David?
That's the A7M2 Sam by Fine Molds.
Oh,
It
Very
dates
nice.
it dates to just about the time period of Mike's Paul, as far as when it was first released.
Really?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's a classic. A
right.
classic.
And then
Late
we have
90s.
and then we have actually it's Chris Wallace.
I love it.
And how goes you're from your brand new build room.
Yes, it's all done. It is.
Awesome. I see a Corsair cutaway print behind you,
Yeah.
which I would expect nothing less or nothing else. What's currently on your bench, my friend?
I am building the Arma Hobbies Aircobra.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
big one.
you.
This one is the Q. They gave you all the parts to the end though, so I'm going to do that because that way I get to do a shark mouth. I think these planes don't look right unless they have a shark mouth on them.
And how are you finding it?
Or red stars.
Not bad, not bad at all.
Yeah.
I
Good.
literally just started snipping the cockpit pieces out.
Oh, okay. All right. And so the gentleman down in the Momojo, what's the weather like down there today?
It's warming up. It started out real cold this morning in Louisville, just about what you would call 0 degrees, but we would call 31, 32.
Right.
It's going to get up into the low 50s, but then it's going to start raining.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's what I heard up here too.
For a while
Fun.
too.
Yeah, we've been
4 days worth.
really cold. We've been really cold, and then it's supposed to warm up a bit.
Well, see if you can get it warm before Heritage Con.
I make no promises, but we will do what we can. I know we were saying with some of our other guests, we can't believe that's only, 3.5 months away.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Always a good time to have you guys there. So
Moosaroo.
that's right. Yeah. Which one of you is doing the Moosaroo this year? Oh, that would be Dave.
That'll be Dave.
And how's that going, Dave?
That looks like a giant doobie there.
That would actually it would be
That would be
nice if
fun.
you all would have supplied some of that and make the build go better. It's actually going really well. I'm enjoying it. I just need to get the SAM finished up so that I can get the Moosaroo finished up.
There you go. Well, like I said, Terry's plugging away at his too. So,
Starting to.
how did you guys how have you found the kits so far, both of you?
They're nice kids.
They're very nice kits. I've got no complaints. I mean,
Gotta be better than the truck.
I know that the ICM truck last year was not ideal.
Yeah.
And I know that ICM felt a little bad about that, but they more than made up for it here. These kits are very well. They're modern molding, very well.
Yeah.
There are certain seam challenges, not because the seams are bad, but because you've got to preserve or replace some detail that there's no way to get around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So
I'm looking forward to seeing it because this is going to be like an exercise in imagination as much as anything else.
Yeah.
Now, just keep it between yourselves. I just showed you that, but really, Steve Hustad is building ours, and we're just going to say it was built by me.
Okay. Yeah. We'll keep that a secret. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
That's a secret for sure.
Yeah. I'm
It's all
sure
about
no one.
the diorama this time, though.
No one from the judging committee listens to this podcast, so you're perfectly fine.
That's good.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. We won't say a thing. So the other question we've been asking our guests this time is, what product or technique did you discover or purchase in 2024 that you really were impressed with? I'll let anyone start. I know
Try
it's a tough
something
one.
new.
Yep. Or you came back to something.
Look at all the puzzled expressions. This is probably a bad.
I have everything. No.
Well, I'll start with a couple. The AK Real Colors paint, they've put it in different packaging, and I was worried that meant that it was going to be different paint, but it's not. Now, I hate the new packaging. I don't know why they couldn't stay with the old packaging, but at least it's the same paint. And let's see, what was at the Nationals, I picked up some thin blend Gator glue.
Mm-hmm.
And I've used Gator glue for years, but I've never had the thin blend, and I really like it. Works. Cool. It's a really good.
Is that a
PVA white glue?
Okay,
but thin. I never knew they made that.
Yep.
I always wind up thinning PVA anyway to use it. So
Right.
Exactly.
Interesting. We'll have to see if it's up here north of the border. I've never seen it at the hardware store or whatever. Okay, Mike or Chris?
Or Nora.
This little guy.
Oh yes,
What's
that's a
that?
good one, Mike.
It's an embossing tool.
Okay.
It's got a round ball on the end of a shaft here, and I've fallen in love with these for moving decals around. At least the way I do it.
Oh yeah.
And our sponsor, John Miller, sells these for burnishing masking tape, which they're great for that too, because they don't really scratch anything. But
what's the material? Is it
it's steel.
steel?
Wow.
Yeah. So you can do a lot with it, and they're not very expensive. And I've really fallen in love with these things.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not too sexy or exciting, but
No.
if you find the right tool, it tends to just become natural. It's the one you're going to go to all the time for certain tasks. So,
And where did you say you got it
ones.
from? And where did you say you got it from? Feel free to plug your sponsor.
Model Paint Solutions.
Oh yeah.
He's got a couple different ones. Yeah, I think if I was going to try to find one locally, maybe a craft store.
Yeah.
Like that.
No, Model Paints. That's a dangerous site. You can end up spending quite a bit of coin there.
Well, Chris Wallace is now going to tell us about his favorite drywall spackle.
No, I'm not. Or paint or anything else. But I'm just going to say something about Mike's tool. If there's anything that is just such a bummer, is that when you peel up the masking tape and you didn't burnish it down properly, like one of the worst model letdowns ever, because it's just going to add an hour or two to your build to fix that. So stand behind your tool, Mike. That doesn't sound right.
I don't know. That sounds pretty good to me.
Hold on to that tool. It's valuable.
That sounds
anatomically correct.
That sounds like a show title.
Let me try to fix this. Okay. in terms of something that's really impressed me, I think I talked about it with you before. The three of you was the border Kate, and the reason why I'm so impressed with it is the surface on that. I've not seen that in person. I've seen pictures of it. I've seen that sort of thing in other models, but with the oil canning and the lap joints on a 35th scale aircraft, I really hope that this technology starts permeating throughout the scales and throughout the manufacturers, because just looking at it in the box is just, I can't wait to open that thing up and build that, because that is really, really cool stuff.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. So
I can't remember where I saw it, but somewhere in my ages cruising around Facebook, I saw I think it was a Japanese modeler who had used a painting technique to replicate oil canning on I think it was a Mitchell, a B-25 Mitchell, and it was a stunning job that he did. Could have been a DC-3 or a C-47 too, but I'm tempted to try that because trying to actually gouge out oil canning on a frame, forget it, not going to do it. But
it's a practice before you commit that one.
Yeah, exactly. Got a massive old B-25 monogram 1/72nd scale or B-25 B-52 that they need to have some kind of work done to stress that skin, and I figured maybe I'll try the painting. That could be less stressful.
very good. So Chris, any other tips or advice from building a new hobby space? You got to essentially start from scratch.
Well, the one thing I would say is, because it took me about a year to actually get it done, it gave me a lot of thought as to what I wanted to do with it. The old space had no sports storage space and had dark walls. There's a pain in the butt to do photography or anything in there, so I've gone the opposite. Now I've got drawers everywhere. You can't see them, but I got drawers everywhere. Light walls, a lot of lighting in here. So I guess before you commit, really think about what you want to use the space for, and then design that in.
Well, Jeff and you have something in common. You're both in the middle or completed a lot of house renovation right now. So Jeff's taking a break this weekend.
I'm taking a break today, not the weekend.
He's had no bench time, and he's very sad.
I'm very upset. I need it. Need my bench time.
Turn on the Army Navy game, watch the game, and model.
Yeah, that's true. That's fun.
There you go. That could be a good idea. So Mike and Dave, any other big plans? Upcoming guests on the Mojo coming up?
We're going to kind of coast through the rest of the year here. We got an episode dropping Monday that's just Dave and I, and then our plans for the last episode of the year, we may have a few folks come through, but nobody hadn't been on the show before.
Right.
Kind of like what you're doing here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Our friends, maybe get some sound bites from those guys and work those into the show. And I don't know, it's been a very busy year for us, and we've done a lot of shows, and I guess we're looking forward to starting it all over again in March.
Yeah.
Come up to see you guys. So
always a good time. We always make sure we have a good welcome for you.
Is your whole crew going to make it? Terry, you going up?
I hope to, because I'll be doing I'm doing the
Yeah, Moosaroo.
The Mooseroos.
Moosaroo.
So
He has to come and collect the cup.
Yeah, I mean, can't
I have
pick
to
it up
start
for 'em.
making those plans known to my wife, because she's like,
You might want to do
another
that.
month. You go to so many models. Just I go to like 4.
Well, it's better than us.
That's
We're
not a
lucky
lot.
if we get to 2 or 3. We've got our own club show in June this year, so we're Jeff and I are on the committee there. We're doing a lot of prep for that, so that should be a good time as well
Well,
in London.
it's always a pain when you're actually on the working group for a show because you don't
Mhm.
get as much time cruising around the booths and everything. So,
Yeah, but at least your wife's not going to be at the show.
well, she wouldn't be at the
wife.
show anyway.
Well, my wife is at the show normally if she feels better, normally helping with the cash and all that.
Well,
Same thing
let
with
us
Frank's
hope that she
wife.
feels. Let us hope that that is an incentive
Well,
for
we're
her
hoping. We're
to get
hoping.
better.
So basically, the update on my wife, gentlemen, is that she's cleared. She's clear to leave ICU and go up to a general medicine. They're just waiting for a bed. It's going to be a slow and steady progress, but I swear some days it feels like Groundhog Day. I work from home, so 8 to 4 I work, and then I run up to the hospital through rush hour traffic and get home by 7, and then before you know it, by the time you get some chores done and the cat's fed and all that, it's time for bed, and then you do it all over again. So.
Mhm.
Do
Haven't
they
been
have
doing
a potential target date for release? Or?
nothing yet. She's going to be in for Christmas, Dave. Like we
Okay.
already know. We already know that. The good thing was I went to the hobby shop today, and I picked up this in 1/48 scale.
Oh, nice.
That was nice. And then I also picked up from Machine Krieger 1/72 scale, your scale. So
There you go.
that'll keep me out of mischief for a while. But no, I've been doing some little palette cleansers and stuff like that. So
Is the hobby shop between home and the hospital?
just beyond the hospital. So I did go and see her
Ah.
today, and I spent 2 whole hours before I
That's probably
ran
good.
off to the hobby shop. Yeah, I did tell her I came there first, and then I did tell her I was going to the hobby shop. So, that way there's no surprises, and she doesn't send a nurse to beat me to death.
Well, that's actually what nurses are supposed to do, right? Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Oh, she gets along quite well with them, and I know she's doing well. When she was really delirious and that, I'd say to her, "Do you want me to sing?" And she'd shake her head really quickly. So I know she was doing okay.
I'm just starting to feel better. I don't need that.
Yeah, basically.
Kill me now.
Kill me now. Kill me now. So, Chris, how about you? Anything else for the website or anything upcoming, projects upcoming?
Well, now that this is done, I can actually get back to regular builds. And Stuart, I did something really stupid. I agreed, I won't show you, but I agreed that I would start with this 3D printing stuff. And they sent me, and I'm scared of it, but this is a whole learning process, right? So it'll be filled with maybe moments of victory and hilarity at the same time.
Well,
So
just remember, we have Ron Tucker from our club on our Wednesday night group builds. So feel free to pop into our Zoom chat there. He's happy to answer questions and all that about 3D printers.
He's kind of become our god of 3D printing. If by god you mean someone who likes to make horrifying creatures from Nightmare Alley. I mean, it's just
But he knows his stuff.
Hey, Chris,
allegedly female creatures with 12 breasts. It seems to be his favorite.
Hey, Chris, don't you have a giveaway going on?
I do. When is this thing airing? When is this?
It's airing next weekend.
All right. Well,
Christmas weekend.
It'll be too late, but yes,
After.
I do. Keychain giveaway, but the cutoff date is tomorrow. So.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But I have another one. I have another one coming up, and that'll be sometime in January.
Well, there you go then. So that's good. All right, gentlemen, I will let you go. Thank you for popping in and saying hi. I appreciate that, guys.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas and
Been
Happy
great.
New
Thank
Year.
you so much.
Christmas
Yep.
and Happy New Year.
Yeah,
We look forward to seeing you guys in Hamilton.
Yeah,
We'll see you in March.
We'll be there. We'll have to do like a 5 or 6 group discussion live from the show floor.
You can all talk about Terry's winning of the Moosaroo Cup. It'll be so easy.
Okay.
give your wife our best.
Of course. I appreciate that, guys. Everyone, that's one thing. Everyone's been really, really supportive from all the various podcasts and Zoom groups I'm with and stuff like that. It's been really nice. And again, it shows what an amazing community we have in this hobby.
Yep.
So,
good-hearted folk.
yep. All right, guys. Good to see you
Later
again.
on.
Yep. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right, we'll get wrapped up here. So yeah, this has been really fun.
It has been fun.
It's
a
been
good idea, Terry. Well managed by
thanks.
you.
Yep. Again,
Yeah.
thanks to Terry for organizing it all, because hell, I was too busy.
Get the guys in.
Yep.
I was
good to see.
destroying and rebuilding a house, so
Yep.
Yeah.
sort of.
Well, the other fun part I've got is I've got a cat war going on currently. So we have three cats. We have two males, which we've had for years, Luca and Charlie, and then we have Miss Ebony, who's a black kitty, and she came from my father-in-law, who passed away a year ago in March.
So you introduced a young woman to two males. That's got that.
But she quickly became alpha. Like you know who's the boss, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty typical, though. Yeah.
They didn't know what hit them, but the problem is just after Alicia went in the hospital, I was feeding them one day, and all of a sudden there's this huge kerfuffle, like absolutely huge kerfuffle. And are you all right, Jeff?
Yeah. Sorry, I took.
That's all right. Went the wrong way. That's okay. I want to make sure. I want to see if I had to call 911.
Water went down the wrong hole.
Yep.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry, listeners.
So there was this huge kerfuffle, and the problem is when they've gotten into a kerfuffle before, and they did once before, is the two males will gang up on her. So if one starts howling, the other one, no matter where in the house, boom, they'll show up. And Luca, the young one, he doesn't know when to stop playing. He doesn't know when playtime's over. So it's been a problem. So I've had to have them separate for like the better part of 3.5 weeks now. We've been trying to reintroduce them, but it doesn't help that, Mummy's not home, Alicia, who's really the cat whisperer around here. And so I've been increasing the med that Luca gets to calm him down. And we're hoping that helps. But, we're just trying that now because I had them out last week altogether. And then after about 5 minutes, Luca goes after her. So hopefully we won't have to do anything, but we may have to see what we have to do with Ebony. We may have to find, she's never had, she's always, when she lived with my father-in-law, it was just her and him. So we'll have to see what happens. So that's been adding a little bit of extra stress as well. But no, I'm really pleased Alicia's doing well. I'm going to go back up to the hospital to see her after work. She wants her cell phone back. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, because I got to tell her no texting at 3 a.m.
Well, there's always a bad time of day and a bad time of meds. So
yeah, but there's always there's also a silent button on your phone. So
Yeah.
that does help. So so any other parting things, Jeff?
Nothing from me. No, it's just been 2024 has been an interesting year. I do hope Alicia improves and gets to the point where she can come back home for your sake as much as anything, as much as hers. And then we can get back into the podcast routine.
Well, we're gonna be kicking it off again in January. I'll just have to send you guys confirm the dates.
Yep.
But we're gonna go back to our bi-weekly schedule, and hopefully this video format is popular with people, and we'll probably do it again. YouTube's growing huge in leaps and bounds. So we'll have to
for hobby shows.
Yep, hobby shows, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm doing some more video editing.
Sharing.
Yep, exactly. Terry, how about you, my friend?
Oh no, I think we covered most everything.
Yeah.
Oh, how are those
fun.
puppies of yours?
Toshi's still a dick.
Okay, that's Toshi.
Yeah, that's Toshi. The rest of them are doing fine.
Good.
We had a couple of them up at the vet. Kato is over. He's like 13 years old now, but doing really well. Doesn't look like a 13-year-old dog. So
That's awesome.
fingers crossed we keep them going for a while.
Good
They're
stuff.
gorgeous dogs. Gorgeous dogs.
Yep.
So
They're happy when it's cold. Somebody ate a bunch of stuff and threw up that really cold day.
Oh dear.
I didn't know because they got me up at like 3. It was Zeus. Went out 5 minutes later, threw up, and then in the morning there's frozen puke on the driveway.
Use it as a speed bump.
Actually, that's better.
Yeah. I didn't know about it. Jenny texted me at work. It's like, frozen puke on the driveway. It's like, well, clean it up.
Yeah, good luck with that.
It thawed out enough I was able to take a shovel and just
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's that cold, that actually is probably better.
Yeah.
You can deal with it. All righty. Well, we'll let you guys go. So, for episode 148 of the Scale Model Podcast, my name is Stuart Clark.
I'm Jeff Highland.
I'm Terry Measley, reminding you that it's not starting a new kit to just have a wee look.
Thank you, and be well.
You couldn't resist that one.